I prosper wherever I go, in whatever I do. Every day, I am becoming wealthier and wealthier. I am financially abundant. I am a great success. Unexpectedly, money falls into my lap. I receive money by thinking luxuriously. I am building unlimited streams of income. I am always grateful for my unlimited sources of income. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am doing what I love and earning lots of money doing it. I am always thinking positive. I am grateful for my infinite abundance. Money automatically gravitates into my life. I am no longer limited by old conditioning. I think like a millionaire.
When the stakes are high at work, your tone matters. Grammarly's advanced tone suggestions.
I can do anything I set my mind to. I am always visualizing myself, living the life I desire. I am prosperous. I am deserving of wealth. I am creating the life of my wildest dreams. I am the creator of my reality. I am abundant. I am open to receiving my blessings every day. I trust my intuition and let it guide me to taking positive action. I am becoming more confident and successful. I enjoy being financially free. I have the power to do anything I want. I am successful in all areas of my life. I work smart and hard, and that is why I am rich. I always find a way to succeed. I am highly motivated and productive. I use positive thinking to manifest a positive life. I think big in everything I do. I act fearlessly. I have an amazing life. I am so lucky and blessed. I am an ambitious overachiever. Every day, I move closer to my goals and dreams. I deserve success. There is nothing I cannot do. I am destined for greatness.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hiding from my wife.
Why?
Let's just say I got into crypto and it did not go as planned.
Roger, come out, honey. It's okay. Oh, quit hiding. Stop being a baby.
Probably should have done my homework before I, dove all in.
Why don't you just use DCX?
Who's DMX?
No. DCX, it's a crypto academy. They make it fast and easy not only to get started into their program, but they make getting into crypto stress-free. First, log into your im.center account and click on Academies. Choose DCX Academy and complete the DCX orientation videos. Second, log into im.center and click on Go Live. Scroll down to DCX and schedule your next 3 Go Live sessions. Next, create a demo and live account for MetaTrader 4 by downloading the MetaTrader 4 app from your App Store. Click Settings, new account, and open a demo account and log in. Last, download SwipeCoin in your app store and then log in to swipecoin.im. Here you can leverage ideas using MetaTrader 4 and exchange ideas with portfolio building. With all this to help you out, you're ready to utilize the DCX strategies and conquer the crypto market. Cool, right?
Very cool. Especially my current situation. Life-saving, really. I can't wait to tell my wife. Honey, don't cancel on my K-drums. I found DCX.
Business owners are turning to funnels to grow their businesses at rates that no traditional website ever could.
Really quick. Yeah, I hope you could hear me loud and clear. Let's test this mic really quick. We are in the green. That's what we like to see over here. All right. Happy Saturday. The day has finally come. I'm so excited to be able to start this boot camp with you guys. I'm calling it Nancy's Declassified Crypto Survival Guide because we are deep in this consolidation. We are deep in this bear market, but this is the true transfer of wealth. And they say that wealth is a transfer from the impatient to the patient. So it actually only makes sense that this consolidation is happening in the market right now. And we're going to take advantage of that consolidation by educating ourselves to the biggest capacity, basically. So we have people from Portugal in the house. We got Spain in the house. Francis, how you doing, girl? I appreciate you. We got Nashville in here. We got Wisconsin in here. Gina's first time here, welcome. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, amazing guys. I am tuning in. This is the amazing thing about trading and just what it is that we do here with IM Academy. I am in the middle of a city, or I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of the metropolitan area in San Salvador, El Salvador. So I'm in this little country in Central America, and I'm just chilling in front of a Starbucks giving you guys this class. And funny enough, I think the Wi-Fi is actually more stable here than it is at my at my boyfriend's house, at my fiance's house. So we're gonna hope for smooth, we're gonna cross our fingers for smooth streaming. Everything's gonna go well. Portugal, let's go. Lithuania, St. Martin. That's awesome, guys. Congratulations. Honestly, like, kudos to you guys for hopping in on a Saturday night. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's get right into day one of Nancy's Declassified Crypto Survival Guide. All right, let's present over here. All right, so day one, in case you saw the flyers, what is crypto and why is it relevant still? So let's get into the blockchain technology. I really want to explain this to everyone because some of you might already know what it is. Some of you might have an idea of what it is, but maybe you don't know how to explain it to other people. And the way that I think of your level of education is if you can explain it to a 7-year-old, you got this down packed. So let me see. You guys will let me know. Am I explaining it well enough with pictures and words where you think a 7-year-old will understand? Because 7-year-olds are the future, right? So what we'll review today, just today, not even the entire boot camp, but just today, we're going to be reviewing the anatomy of a block. We're going to review the blockchain breakdown, how it works, decentralization, the origin of Bitcoin and crypto, Web 2 problems is what I'm calling it. The future is here, terminology, and then that's it. So let's get right into it. All right, so the anatomy of a block. This is a visual representation of what a block is. Again, I hope you guys are taking notes. Please remember that I'm not a financial advisor and trading always involves risk. You should always do your own research. This is my perception and how I can break down the information, what has helped me understand it, and then be able to apply it. So this is my visual representation of a block. You guys might have seen this before. Basically, there's three major components of a block, and then that is part of the blockchain. So we have data, right? We need to have the data of whatever transaction is going through, who is it going from, whose wallet is it going to, how much, so on and so forth. Then we have this thing called a hash. The hash is basically a code. You can think of it as like a barcode. You can think of it as a serial number. You can think of it as a transaction code. Basically, there's a lot of variations of a hash in everyday use. So, example, when you are tracking a package that's coming in the mail, you usually use like some kind of confirmation code or some kind of tracking number, right? It's almost the same thing as using a hash. So it's going to be some kind of code made up of letters and numbers, and it's unique. So everything or typing in that hash will give you the information, the data related to that hash. But the interesting thing about the blockchain or the block is that aside from a genesis block, which we'll get into, all blocks have the previous hash from the previous transaction. And that's how the chain is built. Let me show you guys a representation. Okay, so this is the blockchain breakdown. Some of us might think that the terms blockchain and crypto are synonymous or interchangeable. Well, blockchain is crypto, crypto is blockchain, but not all blockchain is crypto. So let me explain. Blockchain technology is a digital ledger. It's basically a network where the transaction are verified. And what does that do? I didn't finish my thought here, but it helps validate the transactions. How? Okay, let's go into this section right here. A Genesis block is the first block ever on a network. So if we're talking about Bitcoin here, Bitcoin had its Genesis block back in 2009. If we're talking about Ethereum had its Genesis block in 2015. Every network has its Genesis block. It's basically the first one. Why is that different? Well, because since it's the Genesis block or the first one, it doesn't have the hash of the previous block. That's the only way that it's different. It's the starting point. So we're going to pretend that these little, whatever you want to call these, this represents the data on of what's being done or what's happening. So we have a Genesis block, and then we have the data, and then we have the transaction hash going to wherever it's going. That means that the next block is going to have the previous hash. So it's going to have this one. It's going to have its own data, and then it's going to have its own individual or unique hash for that transaction. And that's how they're all linked. I have it represented here with color just to make it simple. But remember that a hash is made out of letters and numbers. So it's this code looking thing that's unique again. And the next one always starts with the last one as well. It always includes the first one in the data. Why does it do that? Because the blockchain, the beauty of the blockchain is to make things transparent. The chain continues because this one has to reflect this one. If this one did not reflect this one and it just started its own thing, that would make the rest of the chain invalid. It would basically break the chain, because if you were to like mess with the block, if someone wanted to go in and edit something, it would mess up everything else. And then that way, everyone, all the nodes, everyone that's kind of like verifying the transactions and the validity of the blockchain will know this is not the same. Remember that this is using cryptography technology. So computers are very, or can decipher very easily yes or no. They're very binary. Does this match or does this not match? When it doesn't match, it will flag it, and then making that blockchain invalid. So if that were to happen, it would kind of break the purpose behind the blockchain. But this is basically a visual representation. Fun fact, the first blockchain actually originated before I was even born, 1990. So kind of interesting how the technology was around since the 90s, literally since 1990, but wasn't adopted until 2008, technically 2009. Let me know if this is making sense, everyone. Okay, everything looks good. All right, so the blockchain is also beautiful. Oh, we got some people from Atlanta in here. We got Hampton, Virginia, Luxembourg. Amazing. That's amazing. We got Mississippi in here as well. That's awesome, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. I hope this helps. So the blockchain is open source. There are different types of blockchains. There's public ones, there's private ones, and there's this kind of like hybrid one. We're going to focus on the public ones. So it's open source, meaning that almost anyone can verify it. So again, kind of repeating what I said last time, is this proves legitimacy. And something else that the blockchain has is, although it's proving legitimacy and everything is verified, it's not connected to anyone's identity. Also, if you'll kind of put pieces together on my screen here, there is no one central location for this verification. These nodes, or the computers that are verifying everything, they're worldwide. They're everywhere in the world. So this makes it a decentralized database, meaning that there's no one governing agency or person. So this allows for transparency again. And a lot of times, I'm sure you guys have noticed, you don't have to put in your social, you don't have to put in your full name, you don't have to put in your address. There's no KYC, know your customer. So this allows, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but imagine a world where your bank account information was public information. That would be kind of intrusive, right? So this took it one step further, saying these transactions are happening, but you don't have to know from who exactly it's coming from or who exactly it's going to. It's validated, it's verified, it's legitimate, it's on the blockchain. Blockchain technology and cryptography is censoring all of that. But it doesn't know who person A is and who person B is, or if they're the same person, or a person at all, or a group of people. So what is cryptography? You might hear that every now and then when you're researching blockchain and crypto and things like that. But it's basically a use of information that uses code. Sometimes it's to hide sensitive information. So in this case, it would be our identity. But it's basically just a fancy way of saying it uses code. Okay, this is going to be a quick class. Excuse me. So we don't have verification of the identity of the alleged Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is an alias. It's a general generic name. Where, let me make sure that my headphones are connected. Okay. I think we're good. So Satoshi Nakamoto is the father of Bitcoin. And I put it here as he is the faceless hero. Why? Because not only do I think that he was ahead of his time, and not only did he technically breed a lot of millionaires and billionaires, according to different sources, but he maintained his identity secret. So what does that show me? To me, maintaining your identity secret means that you didn't do this for money or fame. Why do I think that he didn't do this for money? He has a wallet, allegedly. Allegedly, he has a wallet with over 1 million BTC. So why do I think that he didn't do this for money? Is because, when it comes to market share, someone that has a little bit too much power, it would have exactly that, just too much power. If they have too much market share, they have too much power. So he stashed away 1 million Bitcoin from the 21 million that will ever exist, ever. He stashed that away and he's never used it. I'm saying he, but honestly, I don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto is a girl. Or maybe it's a group, right? We just don't know. I'm just going to use the word he because I'm accustomed to saying that, which is a problem in itself. We're not going to go into it. Anyway, he's never touched it. He hasn't withdrawn it. He hasn't sold off. And then think of it this way. Even after, because, okay, now let's look at the timeline. So the white paper for Bitcoin, which is basically a white paper, is the contract or the description. I'm going to say the description of what something is. And it's public information. In fact, it's encouraged that you look at a white paper for a crypto. Another thing that I really enjoy about the space is that they encourage you looking at the white paper. And that white paper, you can think of it as, I don't want to compare it to like the Constitution, but kind of. It'll be the same. Now, 3 years from now, 15 years from now, there will always be the original white paper, the purpose for which it was to be used for, the technology that it was used with, so on and so forth. And then 2009, the Genesis block of Bitcoin, the first one that ever created a transaction, was in 2009. Another important date, 2011, Bitcoin hit a whole dollar. $1. Imagine that. 12 years ago, Bitcoin was at $1. Not even 12 years ago, I think like 11 years ago. And some change. A whole dollar. And then 4 years after, so there was a big gap between the creation of this, and we'll get into what that chart looks like from the beginning to where it started to see momentum to where we probably became super aware of Bitcoin and crypto. But in 2015, 4 years after Bitcoin hit $1, I would say that the biggest competition was created, and that's Ethereum. Litecoin was created, I believe, in 2011, but in terms of volume, in terms of price, Ethereum would be the competition. It's the next biggest thing. It's the second biggest market cap, which is why I'm kind of phrasing it that way. And then 2 years after that, this is where I believe things started to get some traction. I believe 2015 is where I started to, actually it might have been 2013. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so I became aware of Bitcoin in 2013. Ethereum didn't even exist. Wow, that's awesome. 2017. This is where I get a little bit salty. I was aware of Bitcoin in 2013, but I didn't get in until 2017. And look at what happened in 2017. Bitcoin hit all-time highs at that time. Bitcoin hit all-time highs for that era, if you will. And the price was 19,600 and some change, according to different brokers, of course, different exchanges. But only a 6-year difference. It made a almost 20,000x. A 6-year difference. Crazy. And then only a few years after that, and for those of you that have seen the charts, of course, you've probably seen went to all-time highs, 19,000, almost 20,000, dropped down to 3,000, maybe 3,500, and then catapulted. to almost 69,000, right below 69,000. So something that's also very interesting to me, I like to read between the lines. A lot of these things happened in short periods of time. By no means were these changes or these returns um, from other people. Not that I really got anything from these movements. Well, not over here anyway. But by no means are these returns conventional. Well, what else have you seen that has done almost a 20,000x in 6 years? Nothing. Nothing, right? I haven't heard of anything that has done that kind of big growth. And I'm not even talking about financially or monetarily. Dan Pena Billionaires said he knows who owns. Okay, so there have been, I think, like 4 or 5 people that have come out saying that they're Satoshi Nakamoto, but none of that has ever been proven. And honestly, this is just my belief, right? But I don't think Satoshi, whether it's a group, a lot of people think it's a group of IT workers. I don't think whether it's a group or a person, I don't think he'd come out to say that. If anything, okay, I'm gonna ask you guys this question: would you rather have the money or the fame? Because some people are coming out saying that they're Satoshi, maybe because they want the fame. But if you were Satoshi, wouldn't you rather have 1 million Bitcoin? Because that 1 million in Bitcoin, of course, I'm assuming that he got in super, super early over here, below $1, did a over 800,000 ROI. So I feel like I would rather take this than the fame and just kind of stay on the down low. But that's me. I don't know if that's true. Maybe some people prefer the fame. Love from the UK. Appreciate you. Didn't know how blockchain is so old. Yeah. San Antonio. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, that's just kind of a fun fact. Some people come out saying that they're Satoshi, but if I were Satoshi, I would just kind of withdraw at highs. And it's alleged that he also has more than one wallet. This is just the reserves of the untouched wallet, but I think he also has like 2 more. That's not exactly verified. It's something that I've read somewhere. All right, another set of fun facts is that according to different sources, some sources say over 30,000, some say over 80,000, some say over 100,000 people have become millionaires off of Bitcoin alone. At least initiated that movement towards becoming that 7-figure mark, 7-figure earner, and that's realized gains. Unrealized gains, I'm sure it's so much bigger than that. But if you guys have been on my classes before, remember that I don't play unrealized gains. Only realized gains are the real gains, realized gains. And then 19 people have become billionaires with a B. That's big B. Billionaires with a B. A lot of those people you might know. Actually, some of those people you might know. For example, they're the owners of exchanges and things like that. You can look into that yourself. But also, another fun fact that I didn't add on here: Bitcoin. Actually, let me start over. Crypto has been the most massively adopted concept since the internet. So some people are saying like, what does that even mean? It means more people have jumped on board with crypto than people have jumped on board with the internet, or since the internet, I'm sorry. So we're not even talking about like credit or property or anything like that, but the biggest massively adopted thing since, I don't know, I think of the internet as a huge deal. I think of the era in which we're in, we're gonna categorize it as like the digital era, or yeah, technologically advanced. I think of it as a one-way street. That's just me, right? So I never think that we're gonna undo the internet. Similarly, I don't think that we're gonna undo crypto. I don't think we're gonna undo, control, alt, delete Bitcoin. I don't think so. but that's just my opinion. And this gives me confidence in that somewhere there's just a wallet chilling over 1 million Bitcoin, even though we've hit all-time highs. So it could tell me a couple of things. It could tell me that this wallet is very confident. Oh, also, it's important to note that this wallet is dated to 2008. It's over 12 years old. That's kind of a big deal. Otherwise, some people can just say, well, maybe they lost their keys or their password. But it's dated to 2009, 2000, somewhere over here. And it's been untouched. So, yeah, so it tells me either one, somebody doesn't want anyone to have more than 5% of the market share. And they haven't touched that, which is very powerful. And then two, or number two, is that maybe they know if they didn't withdraw at 69K, maybe they have a good feeling that it's gonna go higher than that, which makes me feel good. So yeah, that's something interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but there have been alleged to be 2 other wallets that date back to 2009 to 2011, somewhere over here. I don't know if it's the same wallet or 2 different wallets. One might have over 500 Bitcoin and the other one might have 615 Bitcoin, more or less. These are the sources where I found this. And then, of course, the internet. You guys can do your own research. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and you can't take my information as fact. But 2 of those wallets moved. So there was some kind of movement, whether it was liquidation or transfers. I think it was transfers in 2022. So that's also really interesting, knowing that, okay, these wallets are active. Someone has the keys and they also didn't liquidate, or maybe they did, and maybe that's what caused the market to crash. I don't know. But just some fun facts for you guys. All right, this part, I called it hashtag Web2 problems. This is where I'm gonna get passionate about crypto. For those of you that this isn't your first class, I hope you know by now that the reason why I jumped the gun on getting on the DCX team is because I'm very passionate about crypto, even during a bear market. Not just despite a bear market, but maybe because of the bear market. Because I truly believe in what this stands for. And even, I think it was, yes, it was Robert Kiyosaki that even said, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but Robert Kiyosaki said, it's not even that I truly believe in Satoshi, but it's that I don't believe in the government because of the so many problems that they have caused from greed alone. So what I consider hashtag Web2 problems is, let's see if I'm able to click this. Can I click this? Yeah. So this is usdebtclock.com, or I'm sorry, .org, and it shows national debt from different countries. And you can see these numbers moving up. I don't think they moved down. And on top of that, look at how many commas are there. So we have hundreds, thousands, 100,000s, million. I'm sorry, wait, hold up. 100,000s, millions, billions, trillions. Yeah, that wasn't right. I wasn't saying that right. But we have $31 trillion in national debt, and that's one country alone. I'm baffled. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, not the brightest crayon in the box. Basically, I'm saying I'm not smart, but I don't understand how we can have so much debt. Because one of those reasons being money as we know it, the US dollar, is just a piece of paper. It's not backed by anything. It hasn't been backed by gold since the 1970s. So it really just doesn't have any value except it's an IOU. It's a, hey, you know what? You'll be able to use this piece of paper to get other stuff that you want later on. And why can you use it? Because my government said so. Okay, yeah, I trust them. They haven't done me any wrong. But this baffles me that all the countries on this actually, this goes down. Good job, Argentina. So all these countries on the first half or the first part are in the trillions. Trillions. So I saw UK in here. Sorry, bro, you're in here too. Japan, China, Germany, France, Italy, Brazil, Canada. Yeah, we're all just, we're deep in debt, at least as a country, right? Then we have other countries that are not as deep in debt, at least not in USD. Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Greece, Indonesia. I'm not going to go through the entire list, but this is a lot of money. Like, so much money. Anyway, let's go back to my, let me see. I just want to check the, hey, okay, we're good. So, this is what I consider to be Web 2 problems. Um, is that the correct use of Web 2? I don't know, but I kind of think of Web 2 as a mindset. It's a little bit of an outdated mindset, and definitely a greedy mindset. Again, the way that I see it, because these last couple of decades, since the internet and just like, I don't know, I think commercialism and capitalism has just skyrocketed with technology because now purchases are so much easier. Am I right? So that's just kind of the mindset that I associate with Web 2. Another way that I kind of think of it is like third dimensional. Like it's very low vibrational human of you is the way that I think of it. But anyway, a couple other problems that Web 2, the way that I think of it, fiat, we can call it fiat, brings about is counterfeit. Has anyone here ever had a fake dollar or fake bill? Doesn't matter what country. Have you ever had a fake bill? I honestly think from all the bills that I've seen, I think the US dollar is the easiest one to counterfeit, just from what I've seen. But I remember one time when I was growing up and I went to the dentist with my mom, she found like some $100 bills on the floor. And she got so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, like I'm blessed, like God is looking out for me kind of thing. And it's kind of like, it kind of hurt me a little bit because, she got excited and she's like, I don't know, maybe someone felt guilty. Maybe they did something wrong for this money. And then it came into the right hands or something like that. And then we quickly realized that they were all fake. Another thing is that my mom used to have a bakery. She was a baker. She would make cakes for the neighborhood. And, she had a decent amount of clientele, mostly friends and family and friends of family, so on and so forth. But more than once did she receive fake money, which is really hard on a self-employed person, a small business owner. So that's what I would consider like another hashtag Web2 problem is counterfeit money. And that's something that blockchain solves. Again, it has to be verified on the hash. It has to have a hash. It has to be verified on the blockchain. And there's people and nodes that verify that transaction and make it legitimate. And also, money can't leave unless the money is there. How many times, I'm going to include myself in this, I've had days where I spent more than I had. Who here has gone in negative on a bank account? And it's like, why am I even allowed to do that? The money's not there. But then I have to ask myself, was the money ever there to begin with? Because if we think that our money, our dollar bills, or if our fiat currency is sitting collecting dust in a vault at the bank, I think we're misguided, or miseducated, uninformed. Because our money isn't just collecting dust in the bank. It's not guaranteed to even be there in the first place. If we were, let's say that all of us had $50,000 in the bank, and we all went to our own banks and said, I want to withdraw this today. I'm going to go buy some property cash. The bank would say, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't do that. And then I would argue, the outspoken person that I am, I would say, well, why not? It's my money. And allegedly the contract says that you are here keeping it safe and that you're paying me a little bit of an interest for keeping it here because they're making money with our money, right? Anyway, that conversation, that's how that would go because it's not always actually there physically. Another problem that I think this would solve is corruption. Ugh, I have this thing the last few years. I don't know about you guys, but the older I've gotten, it's almost like it's a double-edged sword, being more conscious, being more aware in the world. Because now that I'm older and I see all these worldly problems, I'm just like, The world is a dark place, and a lot of it actually doesn't make sense, but it makes a lot of people money, but the same people, right? So imagine blockchain being on the voting system in a democratic country. Wouldn't that solve the voting system? For those of you that were like kind of like in awareness, I think it was Trump's election, 2000, the 2016, something like that. Oh, and then I also think Bernie Sanders' election. But how many, if you guys went into it and looked at it or heard from somewhere, there were people that were not alive anymore, and their votes were registered. Someone explain that to me. How does that work? Because if there's a way to do that, then okay, I guess I'll come back from the dead and also vote. But I don't think that's how that works from the other side. So, I mean, there's nothing else to explain it than they're fake votes, right? But imagine blockchain technology having to verify the legitimacy of those votes. I think things would be a lot different. Not only that, but now that we've implemented and we've adopted massively on a massive scale worldly the blockchain technology, why haven't they implemented things like this in more areas? Sure, a lot of these industries are a little bit outdated. I'll give them that, but I also just kind of happen to think that it's because they won't benefit off of it. Being real, who's going to benefit off of it? Imagine the imagine the um, candidates. Imagine candidates having to show transparency on by who they're being funded by. Imagine. Because how many times have we seen a candidate say one thing to the general public and then once elected do something else? Well, imagine they had a roadmap. Imagine that roadmap was a smart contract. I hope I'm starting to get some gears running in terms of how blockchain could be implemented, but unfortunately, our Web 2 problems over here, they haven't been yet. And then, of course, we have supply. Oh, this is a touchy subject because it's very recent. This wound is still healing. But crypto, most crypto, not all crypto, has a limited supply, and it's based off of the general rule of supply and demand. So, the recession that we're currently in was partly, maybe mostly, caused by inflated supply. Over 40% of the US dollar in circulation today did not exist 2.5 years ago. So they injected an extra 40% of USD into this economy, thinking that it will stimulate movement in the economy, when they didn't think of the first rule of economics, supply and demand. There is an unlimited supply of USD because they can always continue to print more. If another virus comes up or anything comes up, they can just say, oh, we'll just print more dollars. But look what that did. Now the value of currencies has gone down. The value of the dollar has gone down. The value of the euro has gone down. The Argentinian peso. A lot of these currencies' value has gone down. Why? Well, is there a limited supply? Does it follow the basic rule of supply and demand? Probably not. So that's just a few ways or a few problems that we have in Web 2 and just the conventional way of doing things. Unfortunately, that's still the world that we live in, but I have high hopes. And again, this is why I'm so passionate about blockchain and crypto, not even because of what it can do, of course, but it's because like it's the principle, it's what it represents. It's the movement, the transition overall in consciousness, whatever it is that you want to call it. But there is a shift, and we have started that shift, and that gives me so much hope. So again, imagine a world where everything is verified on the blockchain, or at least the important things, like, example, the things you put in your body, medication. Imagine knowing what's actually in it and where it comes from. Kind of a big deal. The produce that we eat, the foods that we eat. Imagine knowing where it came from. Imagine knowing what pesticides are on there in case you're allergic or in case you just don't want to consume that. Imagine blockchain being implemented in education or in, again, just kind of like things imported from all over the world. Have you ever like stopped to think about where the objects, the everyday objects in your household, where they've been and whose pockets they're funding? Imagine if we knew whose pockets they were funding because it was on the blockchain. It would be so much easier to make decisions, in my opinion, because something that I've noticed, again, from my own personal experience, is I like to vote with my dollars. I would rather pay more to a small business owner than fund the biggest companies that own basically everything. But how much research I have to do in order to verify that, it does not make my life convenient. It is actually an inconvenience. I have to go out of my way. I have to research. I have to use data. I have to make sure I have good data in order to research it, so on and so forth. But imagine all of that was just transparent. Imagine there was a little QR code that said everything or everywhere that thing has been, where it came from, who's funding it. Oh, another thing that I like about NFTs. Well, I've seen this in NFTs. I'm not sure. I can't name a crypto off the top of my head that has also done this. But a lot of projects in NFTs, well, some projects in NFTs, they're very transparent with where their money goes. I love that. I love that so much. Imagine a company saying, okay, 80% of our revenue goes into employees and marketing. 10%, I actually don't know what these numbers would look like, but let's say 50% of our net profit goes into employees and marketing. 10% goes to, I don't know, CEO, co-founder, corporate head leader, something like that. 10% goes to charity. 10% goes into supporting local schools or something like that. 10% goes into advancing technology, something like that. Imagine them being transparent with where their money is going. I would love that. So I'm excited for that. I hope that comes sooner than later. I'm super excited for a lot of these NFT projects because I truly believe that a good amount of leaders in the space come from a good place and they want to see that change in the world. So, they're not going to make it easy for us. They're not making it easy for us now during this consolidation. I think that they're filtering out the loose ends, and that's okay because I know where I stand on this, and I'm here for a good time and a long time, mostly a long time. But yeah, that's a little bit of what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that you resonated with some of it. I hope. Oh wow, I worked at a bank and saw so many fake bills. Damn. Yeah, be like that. But I hope you learned something today. I hope that the visuals helped. Printer go. That's awesome. What's up, Angel? I do have, I think, one more slide, but I don't think it's finished. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that didn't finish, but that's okay. Basically, what I wanted to say on the next slide was yin and yang. There are problems that also crypto brings out, and I call that Web 2 mentality. Like, I like to say, I want to bring the good stuff from Web 2 into Web 3, but I want to leave the bad stuff back in Web 2. Like, I don't want to bring that. So, of course, in crypto, there is opportunity for fraud. There's opportunity for hacking. A lot of scams have gone around with crypto and just people wanting to like take advantage of the space and just malintentions, right? Just bad intentions. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. So that's what I call the law of polarity. Where there is good, there will also be bad. That's why I'm so passionate about educating people and making sure that people are well informed and just like know the ins and outs of the space so that they don't fall for those kind of things. Because it would be such a shame. I mean, it is such a shame that so many people have worked so hard for their money in a linear way in exchange for their time, and then someone with bad intentions thinks that they could just cheat their way into getting that money undeserved. So anyway, that will be another lesson in the boot camp. in terms of cybersecurity and just how to not fall for those kind of things, so on and so forth. But that's going to conclude. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, that's going to conclude day one of Nancy's Declassified Crypto Survival Guide. We will be back tomorrow. So these are going to be happening daily at the same time. So 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Portugal, you're going to have to help me out with this in terms of time. But it will be at the same time tomorrow, the same time Monday, the same time Tuesday, the same time Wednesday, so on and so forth, until we finish 13 topics that I want to go over. So thank you guys. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow night. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, technically. And thank you, everyone from Europe and everyone from the other side of the pond tuning in. I know it's late out there, but I appreciate you. More than anything, I congratulate you for making the sacrifice. You guys are truly the dedicated students. We're going to leave it at that. I'm going to cross the recording. These recordings will be in my favorite session. So anyone at any time can have access to this bootcamp. Have a great night, everyone.